Welcome, one and all, to round 19. We're in Mexico today for league racing as we come across the line to start the quali race. Did a bit of practice. I was away all week for work during the week, so I only had sort of Friday night, and I was pretty buggered because I'd just driven for a drive back. But had Friday, Saturday, and a bit of Sunday, so to learn the track and get used to it. So far so good through those. That chicane wasn't too bad. We're now coming up into, this is somewhat of a difficult bit. You want to clip that corner a bit, or hit that apex a bit harder, and I've gone a bit wide there, because the corner sort of not curves in, but it starts to move right, and so it's not a full chicane. Pretty good through here on the S's. I know some people don't enjoy having the gears rev the guts out of, but that's sort of just how I sort of was able to throttle my speed through there easier than anything else. So coming through here, you want to clip again, there's a lot of apex clipping, which I haven't managed to hit in this instance. You can clip that a little harder as well, clip that pretty well. Coming around to the final corner, bit wide, probably could have had a better exit, but we come across the line. We're in P4 and we will remain in P4. Sadly didn't get enough of a chance to go out for one last final run, but there we are in P4. After all that, I think Elite Alex jumped us, I believe. Brad right up the top there, Barefoot in the top 10, and Zylantos rounding out that top 10, in fact. So let's move on to the race. So it was a wet race, unfortunately. It was wet throughout. Inters only. It wasn't wet enough for wets, if that makes sense. And yeah, this happened to be on grid. So unfortunately, we had to bloody start again. We had to re-lobby up. So after that debacle, you can see we're going to be doing a 2-stop race. I'm under-fueling myself, which in hindsight, watching the video now, was a bad idea, but I didn't think I would be using that much fuel in the wet, and I wouldn't be pushing all that hard. Again, in hindsight, that probably wasn't the best strategy, but that's the one we've picked. So as we do, we're all on grid, we're all we're all wishing each other good luck, and not to dive bomb to turn 1, you can't win in the first race, rah 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 rah. Lights go red, and away we go. So we've got Elite Alex, he's had a pretty good start. Combat Rat's had a pretty good start as well. I've managed to get a bit better down the straight than Elite, so we're gonna just go out to the outside so I have the racing line. And yeah, there's me braking. Fucking hell, way too late. But yeah, just nipped by it a little bit, but made it sort of work. And Combat Rat, I think we did get a warning not to hit it. Unfortunately, lap 1 is a bit of a shit show. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you, it is a bit of a shit show. So I've thought about diving it. Combat Rat's slid. I've now got wing damage from that as punishment, which is fair enough. Maserati has come from, I don't know, I get hit from behind. It's all happening. And I don't know why Jeff was crackly there. Yes, no shit. So I haven't practiced in the wet, so I'm just getting used to the car through the S's, and how much I should be throttling it and how I should be doing this. And now I also have to get used to damaged wing, and so playing around in my head, do we pit, do we not pit, that old strategy. I think we're only on something like 2 or 3, no, actually it was higher wing. I think it was about 5 wing in the end, because of the wet I just sort of threw on more aero. A bit of a battle there with Maz. He was sort of going a little bit slow. I think he's just getting used to the wet conditions as well, and obviously having to drive a little bit slower, so we're all just sort of jostling for position there. Down the straights, I made sure I was always up in rich and in overtake, just so I could get away from the pack. So we've got, at the moment, Barefoot behind us running in 4th, so he's doing really well for himself right there, and does give me a bit of grief, as I do to Maserati here. Yeah, Barefoot's going to give me a bit of grief throughout the first start of this, or first few laps of the race. Point I was trying to make is I was trying to build a bit of a gap between me and the rest of the pack, because as you can see there on the minimap, they're all sort of quite clustered up together. Here's Barefoot going for a move on the inside. I give him a bit of space. He doesn't make it work thankfully, and he's quite close behind me there, as you can see. Again, just giving me a bit of grief because I'm still learning the corner, and I'm still, in the wet, and I'm still just...
It's time to use some of this charge.
Yeah, so yeah, we just have a shit ton of ERS at the moment. Brad's absolutely stolen the race so far. As you can see, he's way up ahead of the pack there, so he's just had an absolutely blistering start. So Maserati is also starting to get away from us as well, so he's sort of start to learn the ropes of driving in the wet on Mexico. Didn't mind this track, actually. I actually like the flatness of it. I know some people don't like it, but mainly Ginny. But I didn't mind it. So Brad's just posted the fastest lap time, so yeah, he's absolutely just blistering pace at the moment in the wet. He's obviously practiced or something. Still have Barefoot behind us by about a second, but it's still not enough of a gap for my liking. We're in a bit of a Sauber sandwich at the moment between Maserati and Wire It Up. They've got us pinned in. But yeah, that has been the first couple of laps. It's quite eventful so far. As I say, it's still quite bunched up at the back there, so I'm trying to build a bit of a gap, using a lot of ERS, using a lot of fuel, just to build that gap and retain the position I've got. Try and take second off Maserati, but at the moment we're running in P3. Oh yeah, this is fun. This is a meme I'll do. So you can see here I'm in the pit part of the MFD, or pit instructions, I'm not sure what you call it, where I go down and decide, yes, I will repair my wing when we pit. I go back and forth on that quite a few times in my mind. I went yes, I went no, I went yes, I went no, I went yes, until we pitted. And well, you'll see. So lap 4, minding my own business, chasing down Maserati, keeping Barefoot off my back. Coming up to the first of the many S's, hit that corner pretty good, get that corner pretty good, through there's not too bad. Yellow flag. Did Brad crash? What's the... Oh, it's Rustico. Oh, thank God. I mean, not thank God. I mean, that's a shame. I was really hoping it was Brad. But now as we come on to lap 6, there's been a shift in the dynamics of the top 3. Maserati has caught drastically up to the back of Brado. I mean, they're a couple of seconds up the road to me, but at the time, I wasn't sure what had happened. I thought potentially Brad had maybe lost some wing from, maybe he clipped Rustico or something like that, but he just lost all the pace, and Maserati has been given the opportunity to catch right up to the back of him, and as you can see on the minimap there, he's potentially got the opportunity to take him down the straight. So not sure what happened. The post-race, Brad said nothing was different, and that we were just getting faster, but he had a sizable lead. I mean, I'm obviously inclined to believe him, but I'm wanted to think that there was something more sinister going on with his car, but there you have it. So I think Maserati's going to get the move done through one of these next couple of corners. You can see they're right on top of each other there on the mini-map and up ahead. As we come around the hairpin, or the double apex, I don't know what everyone else is calling it. Maserati just biding his time through the S's. And I think he'll get the move done down the straight. No, he actually is going to get it done through the S's. Alright, so that's Maserati up into first place, and we're drastically catching Brad now too, reeling in that gap that he had, which again, I use the same terminology, but it was quite sizable. Looks like we potentially might be lapping someone already. I think after Rustico's little bingle there were a couple of cars that got caught up in him stopped on the track. So here we go. Everything's up into high. We're in overtake mode. We're up into rich. Maserati's only rounding up 2 seconds ahead of us. And there we go. We're going to get the move done on Brad down the straight just before the braking zone. And that's us up in P2. So yeah, again, I was inclined at the time of the race that something had happened to Brad, but he said there was nothing wrong and that we just found more pace. But there you go. Now we just have to retain it. Yeah. So here's coming up down the straight. Here's just another example of where I decided to change my mind about the front wing. I think I'd already changed it to auto, saying, well, if it needs repairing, I'll just leave that up to Jeff. But no, I decided, no, I'm now not going to repair the wing.
I'll be expecting grip level. Top wing will be soon.
On second thoughts, maybe we will. Yeah. Maybe not.
Box. We're coming in this lap.
Shit. Coming in this lap. Okay, no, we will. 100% we're going to change the wing. Okay. No, we're not gonna. We're running in second. Don't want Brad to overtake us. He could do it in a pit change. No, we're not gonna do it. So it's time for pit stop number 1. Maserati has gone in. Brad is coming in. I thought he might have done the overcut, but he's come in behind us as well. So we just need a good pit exit here. You can see I'm hovering over the over the wing change. No, we're not. Wasn't a great release, and Brad has made maybe a few tenths up behind us. This is going to be a tense few moments coming out of the pits here.
One stop left in this strategy.
As you can see, we're running quite low on fuel. I was still running it in high engine mode down the straight for the majority of the race. I was micro managing the ERS and the fuel modes through the chicanes, through the S's, all down into lean. I think that was helping me get a better exit out of some of these corners. Brad said at post-race that I seemed to have a better exit out of some of these corners than he did. He reckons he was pushing really hard to try and get around me, but I was just having, better traction. So I think having the engine mode down and lean was helping. Someone within the league told me that was a strategy you could use in the wet, so I was doing that, and it was just to save on fuel, because I was going to, as you saw there, I was running quite low. So doing that, and as you can see, Brad's sort of caught up to the back of us, and this was the ongoing theme for a lot of this stint. And there's a 3-second time penalty, and my brain went, fuck, should I just give him the position? Because if this goes on the way it is, he's going to get the position anyway. But I thought, no, let's fight it, because he might get a time penalty himself. So yes, thank you, Jeff. Holy shit, I'm way ahead of you, bro. But then, as you can see here, I pump it up into Rich, I pump it up into Overtaken, and I managed to just eke that gap out to Brad. And that was the entire theme of today's stint. That was just the ongoing, recurring thing that happened. He'd catch me through the chicanes, right towards the ends, but I, built up power, just holding on to it, and then just down the straights, even down this straight, and occasionally down the final back straight after the S's, I'd pump it up into overtake mode as well, just to sort of continue that lead.
1.5 seconds.
Yeah, 1.5 seconds with Brad behind. So let's see what we can make of this. So here come big concern. Lap 15, you can see the little arrow there is Brad right up our tail. I've had a bad run through the S's, had to really slow down, and he has really caught up. But we're going to, again, throw everything into overtake and high mode. But he is right there. Thankfully he doesn't have DRS, but this is one of the close, tense moments where he's gaining, he's going to think about it. He's 2 arrows, red arrow, almost. Yeah, and I almost thought about giving it to him as well, but no, I'm making him work for it. One of the first tense moments. There's another one coming up. Yeah, I think it was basically the next lap. Coming down the straight, he's right there. I think I'm up in all the rich modes. We've got a McLaren up ahead. It's Bernabé. That probably looked pretty cool from her perspective, us two rushing down the straight there with Brad hot on my heels.
Blue flag.
Oh, Robot Elbows and Brado.
The answer was yes, unanimously. Me, myself, and I have decided that it was cool. Thanks to Berna for lending me her little Twitch clip. Her link to her Twitch will be in the description below. You should go check her out and subscribe because she streams these races, and I think that's pretty cool. So we're coming on to lap 18. Brad is closer to me than I remember him being throughout the race. He is, yeah, those little arrows down there popping up more frequently and are getting just closer to me as I go around the track. I guess I was just in the zone at that point. I'd sort of figured out the car and gotten used to it with the wing damage and gotten used to the wet, and I should have been shitting bricks a little more, I think, but I was sort of, as I say, I was in the zone. Yeah, see, look, he's there. It's just, you can see the little arrow. He's right there. And there he is again. Yeah, he is. He's not letting up. He's bringing the pain. But I wasn't really paying too much attention because, as you can see here, I just have him down the straight and make a bit of a gap. So the battle still continues. There's going to be another pit stop coming up in another couple of laps. I think it's early lap 20s. I don't genuinely remember. Maserati's got quite a bit of a gap up there, but I don't think he's gaining a lot more time anymore. A couple of tenths here and there. He is having a blistering paced race though, so no chance of catching him this weekend, but we're just trying to hold down P2 for this race. So, second scheduled pit stop coming up with a butt-clenchingly close pit entry there, and just making it under the speed limit, or fucking bang on. Brad's doing the overcut, as you might have seen there in the mini. He's doing the overcut, and my pit crew aren't ready. Fan-fucking-tastic! Pit crew aren't fucking ready, and that's cost me. That's going to cost me. That's what? 8 seconds? I can't quite read what that particular pit stop is. Yeah, so Brad will 100% have me here, and that's put back markers in front of me as well that I now have to take over. So that was I've been Ricardo'd in Monaco 16, 17. I've been Ricardo'd. So coming through the S's, Drake Spartan has kindly just jumped out of the way for me. I hope I haven't held his race up too badly with. I think he's racing against Bernabé up ahead, I think this is. So now we have to see how much time that has cost me. Combat Rat's quite close behind me as well with only 2 seconds. That is starting to worry me a little bit. I'm thinking, shit, fourth wasn't far behind us. And I've got a 3 second time penalty, so I might be fourth here now by the time everything shakes up. But let's just continue on. Bernabé, I think, is under AI control at this particular moment, and we can see up ahead, yeah, Brad's gotten around us by quite a large margin, so I think the gap at this particular moment was about 3 seconds. If everything had gone well on my pit stop, it may have been a completely different story. I may have just come out ahead of him, he may have just come out ahead of me, and we would have had a great battle to the end, but unfortunately, that's just the way the dice rolls, isn't it? So, again, Combat Rat really close behind me. I've got to eke out a gap to him. I don't quite know what his story is, whether he's on his first stint or second stint, or whether he needs to make another pit stop. So we'll be asking Jeff in not too long what the go is there.
Our gap behind is 2.8 seconds. They're on old Inters. Their tyres are 9 laps old. The time last lap was a 1 minute 29.1. They have a time penalty of 3.2 Okay, gap ahead is 3.3 seconds.
Yes, as you can see there, Combat Rat still needs to come in for another pit stop, so we're safe there. We can sort of just about guarantee.
Leader is 16.8 seconds.
Yeah, man, Maserati's far up the road. We can basically secure third place so long as I don't mess up from now until 9 laps from now. But yeah, as you heard, Brad is 3 seconds up the road. Could have been a very close battle towards the end. But that's just the way the news goes. So that's third place after a terrible fucking USA race. To come P3 is pretty good, but the win is elusive. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride. That's my problem at the moment. But across the line, P3 for the Mexico race. Pretty good result, if I do say so myself. And we're just going to watch my real-life friendo Xylantos come across the line. He's in P8 at the moment, but he bloody... Look at this! Up into 6th! That's 2 people off penalties, so he's been a good boy all race. No, well, he may have taken some penalties, but he took far less than those 2. Bevs, yeah, I mean, I'm watching what he's doing as well, because he's obviously behind me in the championship points, and not too far off, one slip up on my part and he'll jump me. So he's down in P8, unfortunately. He hasn't had a good run. He put in quite a few fast laps, so he was bloody trying. I think Dan Man's run out of fuel coming across the line there. So Maserati, well done to you, mate. Absolute stellar performance, well deserved. Brad, let's do it again sometime, hey? Yes, what a great race. Congratulations to all 3 of us. Pat myself on the back as well. And congratulations to most people finishing the race. I don't think there was only 1 or 2 DNFs at the end of that, so well done. Round of applause to everyone. Final results are in view. Here's a quick little look at where everyone placed. But let's get into the nitty gritty, shall we? Here's a list for the qualifying championship series. We're up into second. There's currently a list of everyone who's been in the tier, so just keep that in mind. Some people aren't here anymore. We're up into second. Hasn't been solidified. Brad has solidified the quali results, so congratulations to him. He is the quali championshipper. That's not a word. Yeah, sue me. In other news, the drivers' standings as of USA, Brad is your Tier 5 champion, so congratulations to him. He has 100% locked that in. We're still battling for sheep stations for second and third. It's not over yet. Unlikely, but still can be done. There's 2 more races. We have Brazil and we have Abu Dhabi. So still plenty to play for, so thanks for tuning in once again, and I'll see you next week for Brazil.